Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to LinkedIn Leadership Live number 10. Can you believe it? Today, we're going to be talking about how to manage the expectations of your staff. It's a really important part of leadership, a really important part of management. I'm going to give you some tips and tricks here. So my name's Gary Crosby. I'm an action coach, business coach, as you can see from the sign behind me. And what I'm trying to do in these sessions is to share with you some ideas that I've got on leadership from 31 years of service in the RAF, from some time in the corporate world as well, and from 3 years as a business coach, where I've been coaching business owners, not just on the systems and processes and the kind of emotional connections of business, but also on that journey for them between doing all the stuff in the business and becoming the leader of the business. That's a really big step up for most business owners. So my aim for you today is a really simple one. For the next 6 or 7 minutes, we're going to be talking about this topic. And at the end of it, I want you to sign out thinking, well, I'm glad I signed in and that's been useful for me. I've learned something there. So that's what we're trying to get to today. Now, as a business coach, what do I often hear? I often hear people saying to me, I can't seem to get the team to do what I want. The team don't seem to understand what it is that I'm after. And of course, as a business coach, you'd expect me to ask questions. And I might just say something simple like, well, how do they know exactly what it is that you want? And of course, that creates a debate around how they've been told how to do their jobs and what's expected of them. Okay, so last week we talked about Lion as a format to use in an informal one-to-one with your team. It's quite good if you're just sitting down to have a chat on a regular basis. This week, I want to introduce you to the position contract. Now, this is much more formal and it can be used as a tool in reviews, as you'll find out later on. But the position contract is a really great framework for making sure that your team know exactly what is expected of them. Let me tell you, first of all, though, what it's definitely not. Okay, it's not just the job description. There are elements of the job description in the position contract, but it's not the job description that you would have put out on Indeed and used in your selection process. Okay. The other thing it's not the legally binding employment contract between you and your employee. That is a separate thing. But I would say that the position contract and the system around it could be used to gather evidence if you were going to have a difficult conversation with an employee, because it is all about how they're performing against what you've told them you expect. Okay, so it does have some applicability there. Let's think about the specifics around the benefits of the position contract. Well, first of all, it's going to give you total clarity. Nobody could walk away from having read and participated in this process that I'm about to explain to you, not really understanding what it was that you wanted. So total clarity is number one. The second one, and this is important psychologically for the future, is that you are creating a commitment from the employee to live up to the position contract. And that psychological commitment that they've made is really important, and it creates a really good tool for the review later on. That's number three, the position contract. One of the benefits of the position contract is it's a great tool for a review at a later date. All right, so 3 good benefits. Let's have a look at what the position contract looks like. I'll bring in this chart from the side. Hopefully you can see all of those and I'm still in the picture. This is what the position contract looks like. So let's just run very quickly through these 6 sections. Section number 1 is the details of the job, the hours, the location, the line manager, the pay, all of that kind of stuff. But it also includes one really important thing, which is the date of the next performance review, right? So already you're positioning this contract as something which will be included in the review. So that's section number 1, just the basic details. Section number 2, the roles and responsibilities will probably be a cut and paste out of the job description, maybe with a little bit more detail now that you've got the person on board. So that is what you are expecting them to do on a day-to-day basis in terms of the roles and responsibilities they've got. Number 3 is really important because it's a key performance indicator. You can call that, a key objective, a milestone, objectives and key results. Lots of different ways to put this, but this is the way that you are going to measure your employee. Now, hopefully you've got some quantitative stuff here that you can actually measure. So I always use the example of a project manager. So you might say 0 safety incidents on site if it's a construction project manager, delivering the projects on schedule, delivering the projects to budget, delivering the projects with a set amount of profitability in them. That's the place to record this kind of information. And again, it gives you a really clear expectation on the employee's part of how you're going to judge how well they're doing the job. Number 4 is all about standards. Now, if you've got separate standards documents in your business, your values, your mission, your behaviors, your code of conduct, anything like that, then you can refer to those in this document. If you haven't, you're going to have to put things in here. And I would, from experience, I've seen business owners putting things like dress standards and timeliness standards when people have to turn up and be ready to start work, those kind of things. But typically, you'd relate it to your core values and a mission statement in the business. So the standards, again, are something that you could use in the review. And we'll come to that in just a second. Number 5 is skills. So this is a great place for you to put, these are the skills that you have to have the job. And these are the skills that I want you to develop whilst you're in the job. And it shows a good pathway to the employee. It shows a good level of commitment from you that you can see them improving their skills over time. And it's documented in here so that you've both made a commitment and an agreement. And then number 6 is the most important part, I think, of this document, because it is the commitment. It is the thing that says from the employee, I've read and I've understood this. So it starts with a signature to say that they're going to comply with all of your policies and procedures. Then there's a set of affirmations to say that they've understood the position contract, they commit to they're operating in accordance with the position contract, and they agree to ask for help and communicate in particular ways. There's lots of different affirmations you could put in here, but it is them ticking boxes to say that they agree to the position contract and what it means. And finally, there's a page in which you and the employee sign together. Now, this might seem like slight overkill, but it is creating a psychological commitment that this is the framework that you're going to use to manage expectations in the business. It's really powerful when you come back to the review. So let's imagine there's a review date in a couple of months, and you say to the employee, look, get the position contract out, have a look through it. We're going to talk through this as we go through the review, so you can expect me to be asking you questions about this. Yeah. So you might start off with saying, are the roles and responsibilities correct? Are they within the scope exactly of what you're able to do? Is it necessary for you to do all of these things to get the job done? Have some of those roles and responsibilities been taken on by anybody else? But let's just make sure that they are correct. Then you can just make a simple statement around the KPIs. With the position contract on the table in front of you, you can say, look, these are the KPIs we agreed when you first started. How are you getting on against them? Let the employee tell you what they think. They'll brag about the stuff they've done well. They might give themselves a hard time about what they've not done well. You can certainly bring up something there where you feel like there might be a need for a performance improvement, if there is something. Yeah. Standards is really important. So if people's standards have started to slip, maybe customer service standards slipping, timeliness or appearance or anything like that, again, the question is, these are the standards you agreed to when we started this process. How are you getting on against those? And give the employee a chance to tell you what they think. Then the manager or the leader can have that conversation around what needs to improve if necessary. Skills is the same. Let's run through it. Let's make sure we tick off the things you've already done. Let's add in some new things where we think you can improve, and we'll review those at the next performance review. And then finally, you've got the commitment at the end again, which is a signature to say that everybody agrees with what's gone on in the position contract review. So a nice, powerful document. Yeah, it's not as informal as the Lion format that we talked about. It is a good way of managing expectations. No employee could go through this process and then be able to say subsequently, I didn't know what the boss was expecting of me. Yeah, so that is the position contract. It's quite a quick run through today. We've got formats and templates and things like that. If you want to have a chat about that, then get in touch and we can share some of that stuff with you. And just remember, employees work at their very best when they know exactly what's expected. So however you do it, even if this isn't your process, be absolutely crystal clear about what you expect from your team. So I hope that's been useful. If it has, give me a thumbs up now on LinkedIn. Put a comment in there to let me know that you found it useful. If you're watching it later on replay, you could still make a comment and give me a thumbs up. That's absolutely fine. And if you're picking it up much later on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because these are coming out every week and you'll get a little nudge to let you know that there's some new content if you do that. So next week, Wednesday, midday, we're doing LinkedIn Leadership Live number 11. And I'm going to give you the top 5 ideas I've got about leadership when you're coming out of lockdown and bringing a team back together. Okay, so you might have had dispersed teams for a little while. You're planning to bring them back together. There's some ideas that I want to share with you about how to do that effectively in this post-lockdown, post-pandemic world. So I hope that's been useful for you. Thanks very much indeed for watching this time. We'll see you next week. Wednesday at midday. Bye for now.